This is the reaction when 2-butanol is exposed to an acid catalyst. This is called 2-butanol because we have 1, 2, 3, 4 carbons and an alcohol on carbon number 2. We have reaction conditions of an acid catalyst, and so what we're going to be doing here is a dehydration. This is a secondary alcohol because the carbon that contains the alcohol is also connected to 1, 2 carbons. So this is a secondary alcohol. So it's dehydration of a secondary alcohol. When we do the dehydration of a secondary alcohol, we are going to end up with two products. The first product that I'm going to draw is going to be our major product. Our major product is determined by considering the alkene that is formed, because the product of dehydration of an alcohol will always be an alkene. We look at the alkene that is formed and we determine which alkene will be more substituted. So I'm going to draw the two possible alkenes. So we can make a double bond between either adjacent carbon atom. So that means that we can make an alkene by making a new double bond here, or we can make an alkene by making a new double bond here. If we look at how many total carbon atoms are attached if the double bond is made at this position, we see here is a carbon attached to a carbon, here is a carbon attached to a carbon. So there are two branches off of this alkene. Remember, when the dehydration happens, this part leaves. So in the case of this alkene, there are two carbon branches. In the case of this alkene, it's what's called a terminal alkene. So it's at the end of the molecule, and there's only one carbon attached to it. So I'm going to draw those two different ones. Still just 4 carbons, and there is the double bond at position 2. And then the other product that can be made would be the double bond at position 1. What we see is a carbon attached to the double bond and a carbon attached to the double bond. So this would be the major product. In this case, there's only one carbon attached to the double bond, so this is the minor product. The major product is about 80% of the product, and the minor product is about 20% of the product. So this is called trans two butene, and this is called 1-butene. However you draw this is how you need to name it. So if you draw it as cis-2-butene, which would be like this, you would name it cis-2-butene. We don't need to draw both of these versions of the molecule, but however you draw it, you should name it. In this 80%, there will be both cis and trans isomers, but you needn't worry about that. You just need to name it how you draw it. So the dehydration of a secondary alcohol is going to yield two products, a major product and a minor product. The major product will be the alkene that has more carbon substituents on it. In this case, there are 1, 2 carbon substituents. In this case, there's just one carbon substituent.